What if the fate of the next Lakers dynasty hinges not on raw talent or even legacy, but on the ticking clock of timing and whispers behind closed doors? What if the very moves we thought were certain now swirl into a fog of second-guessing and shifting loyalties? Welcome back to Lakers News Fan Report, where raw truth meets purple and gold passion. Smash that like button, hit subscribe, and ring the bell so you never miss a second of this drama. Because today, Lakers Nation, everything just took a seismic shift that demands our full attention. With Rob Pelinka's highly scrutinized chess game heating up, we're seeing a transformation in the targets that could redefine this team's destiny. For weeks, the whispers were all about D'Anthony Melton, the defensive maestro, fresh from the Warriors, a guy who fit the Lakers' glaring need like a glove. We all wanted that lockdown presence, the gritty player who could protect the paint and slow down the league's best scorers. But hold on. The latest reports are flipping this narrative completely on its head. Enter Bradley Beal, a two-time All-Star, an offensive catalyst with the firepower to light up any scoreboard. And now, shockingly, the rumored next man to wear the purple and gold. Eric Pincus just dropped an article predicting Beal's signing to the Lakers on a 2-year deal, with a player option lined up in that second year. This isn't idle speculation. This is league-wide buzz backed by Beal whispers from the Suns, whose situation with Beal is reportedly nearing resolution. We all know the financial headache he brings. A $50 million contract that's hard to move. A no-trade clause that's like an anchor weighing down teams desperate to create cap flexibility. But if there's a Beal, and if Beal lands with the Lakers, it would change everything about this summer's storyline and the roster configuration moving forward. Here's the kicker. While Beal's recent run with Phoenix has been less than stellar, he's still putting up around 17 points a night, knocking down threes at decent rates, and carrying the kind of offensive punch this depleted Lakers bench desperately craves. I know what you're thinking. Can we afford to prioritize scoring over defense? Because defense has been this team's Achilles heel for years now, the crumbling wall that collapses just when we need it most. And that's the gnawing question digging deep in my bones today. Does bringing in Beal solve more problems than it creates? Because on paper, yes, he's a scoring upgrade. Jake LaRavia and Dalton Koenig look like distant dreams when you line them up against a player of Beal's caliber. But Beal isn't exactly an elite defender. And the Lakers right now are scouring the bottom of the barrel for real perimeter defense. Not a fancy highlight reel, but the hard-nosed, lockdown kind that can carry this team through the brutal grind of a playoff series. So does Pelinka's sudden pivot from Melton, who many considered the perfect defensive glue to Beal, signal a deeper shift in strategy. Or is this desperation disguised as opportunity? The cold water on Melton is equally chilling. Mark Stein's latest reports suggest Melton's not walking through the Lakers' door after all, but heading back to Golden State for a reunion. That hit like a dagger through the heart for many of us, especially after watching Melton's promising but short-lived stint with the Warriors last season before injury sidelined him. And now, with Melton likely off the board, Pelinka's playing a high-stakes game with the market shrinking fast and the Lakers' bench looking more skeletal by the day. Take a hard look at this roster. Minutes spread thin between players like Gabe Vincent, Dalton Koenig, Jackson Hayes, and the defensively spectacular but offensively limited Jared Vanderbilt and Jake LaRavia. The scoring upside? Razor thin? Defense? Patchy at best. And with a tax apron looming at $287.8 million maneuvering, cap space and juggling draft picks becomes an even more brutal calculus. Expiring contracts and first-round picks give Pelinka some ammunition. $43.7 million in expiring deals. 3 first-round pick swaps, a 2031 first-rounder, and that hopeful blend of youth and veterans. Yet, despite the tools, the silence from the front office about bold moves is deafening. We're left wondering if Pelinka is holding his cards too close or if he's misreading the market entirely. Does he gamble on Beal's offensive prowess, hoping it offsets defensive liabilities? Or does he double down on youth and wait for the right defender to fall into their laps? And what about the long-term health and fit of these pieces? Melton's injury history is a question mark. Bell's contract is a liability. The bench is a wasteland of unanswered prayers for consistent scoring and lockdown defense. Meanwhile, Deandre Ayton's arrival, an acquisition I championed from day one, is a lone beacon of hope amid this swirling fog. His recent comments about Luka Doncic being in elite shape and the chemistry they redeveloping hint at a future where the Lakers might finally harness the kind of physicality and skill to compete at the highest level. If only that chemistry and conditioning could rub off on the rest of this roster, that would be a dream worth chasing. But how do we get there when the defensive identity is so fragile and the move so uncertain? Remember, this isn't just about the next offseason. This is about the legacy of a franchise weighed down by expectations as colossal as Kobe and Shaq's championship banners hanging in Staples Center. As a lifelong Lakers fan, the stakes feel staggering. I've cheered in the bright glare of victory and felt the gut-wrenching sting of missed opportunities. And now, staring down the cliff edge of another pivotal offseason, I can't help but feel a mix of hope and dread swirling in my chest. Is Rob Pelinka crafting a masterstroke with these maneuvers, chasing a high-risk, high-reward formula with Bradley Beal? Or is this the beginning of unraveling everything this team has worked toward? Will the bench revive with the influx of scores, or will the defense continue to crumble under pressure? Are we witnessing the subtle dawn of a new Lakers empire? Or are we watching the fragile threads of a dynasty begin to fray? Lakers Nation, I need you now more than ever drop your takes in the comments because I'll be reading every single one. This story is far from over, the drama just heating up, and the next chapter could change everything. Lakers Nation, wake up with me right now because this isn't just another off-season update. It's a full-throttle roller coaster that could redefine everything we thought we knew about the trajectory of this legendary franchise. And if you're sitting there comfortable, thinking the Lakers story is just another chapter, you're seriously underrating how seismic this moment truly is. Because at the core of this chess match lies not just talent, contracts, or draft picks, it's the very essence of what it means to be a Los Angeles Laker hanging in the balance. Imagine LeBron James, a king who has carried this franchise on, his back through the twilight of his career, now staring at the twilight of are we really built to push harder, to fight through the chaos that everyone else closing in doesn't want to feel? Can he keep dragging a roster patchwork sewn together with a mixture of stubborn hope and tentative half measures when the world sees him inching closer to the inevitable epilogue? Because it's not just about playoff appearances anymore. It's about the legacy of a man who's given everything in purple and gold. And what of Anthony Davis, whose talent brushes the heavens, but whose knees and frame seem almost burdened by the impossible weight of being the Lakers' defensive backbone, the enforcer, the game-changer society demands him to be? Every step, every minor tweak to the roster is effectively a gamble on his health and the mysterious chemistry that might just spark with new pieces and form that juggernaut team we dream about. But what happens if the gamble skewers itself, folding under the pressure of expectations doubled by the front office's shifting strategy? Think about Austin Reeves, the scrappy, fearless heart of this squad who embodies everything we can rally. Behind grit, relentless spirit, humility, this kid has become the pulse of the bench and maybe the emotional glue. But with the movie-changing script in the front office, where does his future land? Does he get the credit and minutes he's earned? Or does he become collateral damage in the scramble for marquee names and flashy fireworks? And as if the court drama isn't enough, the political battlefield behind the curtain turns darker by the day. Jeannie Buss remains the unshakable matriarch of this dynasty's fate. But what if there's a billionaire prowling around with deep pockets and grand ambitions, ready to upset that balance of power and weave a whole new strand into the Lakers' DNA? The mere whisper of a takeover sets fan forums on fire and paints futures tinted with questions about culture, loyalty, and even the soul of the Lakers brand itself. Will a new king rise behind the scenes, pulling strings that rewrite the mission? And the very definition of a Lakers championship? Picture the Showtime Lakers of the 80s Magic on the floor. Confidence rolling down the court like a tidal wave. An unstoppable force made fierce not simply by talent, but by the collective heartbeat of a franchise committed to relentless excellence. We chase that history every offseason, don't we? Then flash forward, remember those early 2000s. Three-peat glory days when the purple and gold silenced critics and blazed paths all while Kobe Bryant and Shaq wrangled dominance with fire and fury to create a dynasty that made the whole league quake at the sound of Los Angeles Lakers. We hold those moments sacred, treasured memories that feel both wildly distant and painfully close, all tangled in the bittersweet comparisons to what we're working so hard to build now. And who could forget the 2010 revenge against Boston? That ruthless, white-hot desire to prove ourselves again on the biggest stage? Or the monumental 2020 bubble title, won not in the spotlight of roaring arenas, but through sheer grit and determination in a quarantined world, reminding us all that Lakers basketball, at its core, is about heart, sacrifice, and unyielding will. Each one of those chapters lingers with a lesson and a warning. The championships didn't come on talent alone. They came from passion, from fearless decision-making, and sometimes from lining up the perfect storm where all the stars collide. And here we are, presumably poised on the cusp of a new storm. But is it brewing to crush the Warriors' ironhold on the West, or dissipating into yet another summer of frustration? The ripple effects of this potential Bradley Beal signing stretch far beyond the purple and gold. Think about the Warriors, still the measuring stick in the West. With their sharpshooters and championship pedigree, does adding Beal tilt the scale sufficiently to knock them off their pedestal, or are we simply throwing another big name? With a heavy contract at a problem without the right supporting pieces? Denver lurks with an aging yet hungry core, ready to capitalize on any Lakers misstep, reminding us that one false move and this team isn't just falling behind, it's disappearing into the dark. What about Phoenix or the Clippers, two franchises simmering with ambition and rosters full of young energy blended with established stars? Could they wrest control from us amid this swirling chaos? Or does the Lakers brand alone demand that? We rise above the fray and reassert dominance in a ruthless Western Conference. I picture the stands at Crypto.com Arena, shaking with fans who have lived through so many peaks and valleys, clutching their jerseys, shouting at the screen, and pouring their souls into each possession as if this summer's moves will dictate the very soul of the team they bleed for. Their voices echo, jagged and raw, demanding that this team find its way back to that shimmer of purple and gold glory, that moment when the world knows the Lakers aren't just playing the game, they are the game itself. But what if Beal's offense dazzles, but the defense crumbles even further? What if the scoreboards light up in our favor, but we still lose the heart and soul grind of true playoff basketball? What if the gamble here isn't clever, it's reckless? And deep down, the thought gnaws that we might just be throwing away years of identity, chasing a spark that never truly ignites. Still, I can't shake the vision of what could be. LeBron slashing through defenses with even more firepower around him. Davis protecting the rim with renewed vigor. Reeves stepping up as the homegrown hero, finally getting the spotlight he deserves. And an assembly of scorers and defenders coalescing into a thunderous force that shakes the league to its core. Now imagine if Jeanie Buss stays in the driver's seat, fighting off billionaire distractions, maintaining the soul and tradition of this franchise, the very essence that made Lakers basketball a religion. What if this team finally pieces it all together, winning a title that honors the ghosts of Showtime and Kobe's Black Mamba era, while carving out a brand new legacy for the future? Or is it all a cruel mirage hope fading with each signing and trade rumor, until we're left clutching memories of the past, unable to forge ahead? As a Laker till the day I die, here's what I see coming, whether it's the bold shot in, the dark that ignites a dynasty reborn, or the slow unraveling of years of hard-fought ground. One thing is crystal clear. This summer, this team, And this fan base are standing at a precipice so jagged and steep that only the most fearless will climb back up. And now I want to hear from you. Drop your rawest take below, every true believer in purple and gold, because in this moment, everything is up for grabs. And only together can we make sense of the madness.